This is a certified hood classic.
Alright folks, I know it's been rolling in slowly, but we've got some new information about the upcoming King of the Hill revival, including apparent confirmation on the rumored time skip. So let's go over all the new information, and of course, speculate wildly. Okay, so if you just haven't heard the news about the King of the Hill revival at all, the gist of it is that Hulu has picked up a new season of the series, likely coming next year or the year after, and this comes after there had been rumors of a revival for years. The show is
Boy, they look just alike, bro. They just ugly as hell, boy. I'm talking about, boy, look at this boy. This biscuit chin ass boy. But now, see, that's what got me in trouble the first time on YouTube. So I gotta chill. Let me just go ahead and chill now. Can't even do what I want to do. I can't even do what I want to do no more. Come on, boy. Old prune looking. Okay, let me stop. Let me try giving him a compliment. Okay, let me try getting him I love that that butt dent in the top part of your head is very mosaic. Ugly. I'm gonna get on your shit. All right, bro.
Set to return with just about every living cast member reprising their roles.
I can't wait
Judge,
for this.
Kathy Najimy, Pamela Adlon, Stephen Root, Johnny Hardwick, and Lauren Tom all confirmed to return. Further rumors claim that the show would be more of a sequel series where we see a time skip and aged up characters about 15 years. Some claimed that Pamela Adlon's presence on the cast list deconfirmed the age up scenario, but I maintain that you just simply cannot have Bobby Hill exist without Pamela Adlon, regardless of age. She's an incredible voice actress. She's gonna nail it.
I mean, because even if they do a grown up Bobby, they can also do flashbacks of Bobby like doing other shit, doing dumb shit. You never really know how they can tie stuff like that, because then they would get like the classic Bobby and yada yada. You never fucking know. I mean, you really never know like how they could tie in a younger Bobby with an older Bobby, you know what I'm saying?
And a recent Screen Rant interview with Stephen Root, aka Bill Dauterive, seemingly confirms the age up rumor, as well as gives us a few more juicy details about the show's production. Screen Rant asked Root about what Bill had been doing.
He said that boy was in there whacking it, boy. No, he wasn't.
Between the end of the series and now, and whether or not he cares more about his hairstyling or his barbecue. Here was Root's response. I think Bill, as the stumble bum that he is actually an excellent hair cutter, but I think his Louisiana roots make him probably the better barbecue maker. I would have to say the barbecue at this point. If Bill could even remember his name, I think we're going to time jump in this a little bit, so Bobby's going to be older, and it's going to be interesting. We're starting table reads in April, so I'm looking forward to it. So
well, he basically gave it away.
Great info here. The table reads have seemingly started already, which means the VO recording will be coming shortly. I expect this puts the timeline at late 2024 or early 2025 for us to be seeing these episodes air, but we still don't even know how many episodes they're going to be producing yet. Obviously, the bigger piece of info here is that somebody actually involved in the revival has publicly stated that the show will see a time jump.
Hey, did you see Dale? Hey, boy, that's a damn shame, bro. That man was in the car and said, boom. Hey, bro, hey, look. You gotta have your fucking seatbelt on. You seen that boy, bro? he gonna time skip in a minute.
And specifically, that the characters will be aged up. How much older still remains to be seen. While the previous rumors from former Judge and Daniels collaborator Brent Forrester claimed 15 years, it's possible this wasn't perfectly accurate. Root does say we're going to time jump a little bit, and little bit doesn't exactly scream 15 years. However, he also claims that Bill might not be able to remember his own name, so Bill being old enough not to remember his own name might suggest a somewhat more substantial time jump. We also got a tiny bit more info from 20th Television.
Or maybe it's just him being traumatic, because, you know, he was going through a lot. He was going through a lot, you know, in the original series. So him kind of like going through some more traumatic shit and losing some cognitive functions, or him just getting amnesia, losing memory and stuff like that. It ain't that far off.
Animation executive Marcy Proyetto, who when asked about the Futurama and King of the Hill revivals, said, I've always felt both shows had more stories to tell. Viewers can expect the same great humor and great writing they love. For Futurama, it's like catching up with old friends in the most amazing way, and for King of the Hill, it's like seeing characters we love with a slightly more modern sensibility. I can already hear the angry comments rolling in about how modern sensibilities means the show's gonna be woke now. Ooh. But modern sensibilities is exactly what King of the Hill should be dealing with. That's what the show has always always been about. How
Right.
the way the world changing conflicts with Hank's worldview. The comedy and the messages always stemmed from that conflict. Hank often finds some form of common ground, some kind of underlying integrity behind the things in life he fears or doesn't initially understand. He doesn't always entirely change his mind or change who he is, but he finds common ground. It's a great formula, and the show wouldn't work if they weren't dealing with current day sensibilities.
I like
with the series ending on such a perfect...
I think the world needs more of that, because I feel like, so anime does really well with tackling fictional characters, fictional kingdoms, fictional like just mythical shit, and it'd be cool, it'd be dope, martial arts, stuff like that, and old customs. Cartoons, however, are very much geared on the social climate of the world. I think that's how cartoons evolve, in talking about social issues for an adults. And I feel like that is the like an American or Western culture, is to talk more about pop related things that are happening now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of feel. You know what I'm saying? So I think I think we need more shows like that to actually talk about that, just like King of the Hill. So King of the Hill being dropped today wouldn't be out of place, in my opinion. I just can't wait to see. I'm a little nervous, though. I'm a little nervous because I always like when they do reboots, but, you know, it's always that feeling of, man, are they going to get it right? Or are they going to fuck it up? You know?
Perfect note, back in 2009,
I think they're going to get it right,
Age of
though.
Confirmation is exactly what I was hoping for. I think To Sirloin with Love is an incredible ending for the show, and the idea of just making new King of the Hill episodes after that finale really rubbed me the wrong way. However, if you age up the characters, this all of a sudden becomes more of a sequel series than it does a revival or a reboot. It allows us to separate the original series from the new series and see them as separate things. And I still want this new thing to explore the same themes and ideas that the original does, and I think that aging up the characters will actually allow them to explore these themes even more thoroughly in a modern setting. If you've seen my other videos about the King of the Hill revival, you've heard me talk a bit about this, but the key to King of the Hill was always that generational divide between Hank and Bobby, how their differences create conflicts.
Hey, that boy got smacked in the fucking face with that ball, boy.
How they find common ground amongst those conflicts. But if you age up the characters 10 to 15 years, putting Bobby in his mid to late 20s and Hank in his 50s, you can bring in younger characters from the newer generation and then further showcase those generational conflicts, now with an added layer. The same way Hank struggled to understand Bobby, Bobby can now struggle to understand the kids coming up behind him generationally. And I also think adding new younger cast members can breathe some new life and give this iteration of King of the Hill an identity of its own. And I think those new younger cast members might just be right under our noses.
That boy took a peek
already. When the original series ended, there were two characters who were still babies: Hank's younger brother, Good Hank, and Luann and Lucky's daughter, Gracie. If we land the time jump at 13 years, these characters will be the same age that Bobby was in the original series. Plus, King of the Hill has always had a major focus on family. Making sure the new characters that are added to the mix have familial connections, I believe, is very important. Especially because the original show didn't really do all that much with GH after he was born. There are so many possibilities with him growing older.
That boy got a
to
gun.
form a relationship with his significantly older
look at that. Look at Bobby, ugly ass boy. He's cute and ugly at the same time.
Brother, probably looking up to Bobby like a cool uncle, despite actually being
that's Good
Bobby's
Hank.
uncle. I would love to see an episode where GH wants to learn more about his father, having never really known him. With Cotton's death towards the end of the original run, an older GH could turn to Hank or Bobby to learn more about the father he never knew. This could also give the show an opportunity to do some flashbacks and get some new Cotton scenes in the mix. And Gracie, I think, is equally important. With the tragic losses of both Brittany Murphy and Tom Petty, I don't see Judge or the King of the Hill staff recasting the roles of Luann or Lucky. And Luann is a major loss for the show. The original pilot of King of the Hill actually took place when Luann was moving into the Hill residence after her mother was sent to prison. I'm a little terrified of how they might write out Luann and Lucky, but however they do it,
I honestly feel like, so here's the thing, right? Luann and Lucky are big characters, right? They're big characters, but Luann came into the picture without us knowing her mother or father, and she fit in great. Now, we still know Luann, we know Lucky, we know Luann, we already have a connection with them, but at the same damn time, with it being a reboot and not like in the middle of a season where Luann was just here and now she's gone. This is a reboot, so it's a chance for them to start fresh. So, you know, their daughter could come stay with, you know, Hank and Peggy and Bobby and yada yada, just the whole family. She could come stay with them just as a refresher, and she could be there for a summer, and it turns out to be longer or whatever. You never know. You never know. I'm interested to see how they do it, because if they're going to write them out the show, they need to do it gracefully. You know what I'm saying? It can't be like how South Park wrote out Chef, because I think that there's only been one bad taste in my mouth about South Park, and it's how they treated Chef's character at the end. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not too mad because South Park is South Park, how they treated Chef's character when they wrote him off always just felt bad to me. It just felt wrong to me. It just felt wrong. I'm not mad at anybody from South Park. Obviously, I'm not mad at anybody. But I'm just saying how they choose to write them out. You know what I'm saying?
It would be incredibly fitting if we saw Gracie moving into her residence in the revival's pilot,
pivotal,
the same way Luann did in the original. It would also allow us to have a character that keeps the spirit of Luann alive, despite the devastating loss of Murphy. Honestly, maybe this is a bit too sentimental, but my pitch, they should cast Dakota Fanning as Gracie. Dakota Fanning and Brittany Murphy shared a really special connection on the film Uptown Girls. I always loved these quotes from Fanning after Murphy's death. She just taught me to always have fun. She was like such a ray of light and had such a playful spirit. So I think she made every day special for me. She was so wonderful. I especially love describing her as a ray of light, especially alongside this clip of Brittany Murphy describing Luann.
She is a joy to be. She's bright and she lightens up all the dark corners of my head.
That's
she comes from the brightest, most corner of my brain.
Fanning also has quality voice acting experience, including an excellent performance as the titular character in Coraline. I'd really love to see someone with a connection to Murphy carry on Luann's legacy, and I hope they consider Dakota. But utilizing GH and Gracie as both connections to the show's history of characters past, like Cotton and Luann, and as representatives from a new generation that conflict with not only Hank's sensibilities, but now Bobby's sensibilities, sounds like the perfect way to make this show feel new and worthwhile, while also keeping the spirit and themes of the original alive. Just please don't do a Luann's Angel episode like they did with Buckley's Angel. I honestly do not think my heart can take it. I also obviously really want to see where Hank and Bobby are at this point. Is Hank finally managing Strickland, or are we going to be treated to a sad reality in which he's still assistant manager after all these years? And what about Bobby? Where did he go to school? Is he moving back home for the first time since graduating? Is he still pursuing comedy? Is he pursuing cooking or culinary arts? Honestly, if it were up to me, I'd love to see him combining both, doing comedic cooking videos on YouTube or TikTok. This would both create another obstacle for Hank, who I'm sure would immensely struggle to understand that kind of job or career, and also create an outlet for Bobby to reconcile his own sensibilities with the younger generation who might be consuming his content. I just think there's a lot of possibilities with the time skip. I'm excited. The aged up premise also slightly alleviates some of my ongoing concerns about the state of animation and media in general. It would have been so easy for them to just say, okay, King of the Hill is back, just like it was before. That's what sells right now, nostalgia. Instead, they're going the more creative route, and they're letting the series evolve into something new. And while that is bound to upset some people, because some people are afraid of—
I mean, but you can't, like literally what I've learned being a YouTuber, bro. Well, what I've learned being a music artist, what I learned being a music artist is you're going to have people that like you're going to have people that don't. What I learned being a YouTuber, you just got to do shit. Like, if you always cater to what everybody wants every time, you will lose the essence of yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you got to be one-track minded and just do what you want and nothing else of what anybody else wants. But there's a humble balance in what the majority wants and what you want, and coming together and it just being something beautiful. That being said, you're always going to piss somebody off. It's like no matter what you do, no matter what you say, if you could say the most beautiful concentration of words ever spoken in life, and you're going to have a group that is going to love it, that might even be the majority, then you're going to have a small faction of people that are going to be pissed off. Why is it so creative? Who does he think he is? Who does he think she is? She thinks she is. You know what I'm saying? It's going to always be somebody that's pissed off. I don't think that was woke. That wasn't woke enough. It's just like, at this point, you just gotta just create good shit. The people that gravitate towards it will gravitate towards it. The people that love it will love it. The people that don't, they'll go fuck off. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is, bro. And there's nothing wrong with people not liking shit. It's just everybody voices their opinion nowadays. And sometimes people gotta remember their opinions don't really matter too much because they aren't really saying much. But everybody has an opinion, and you know, that is what it is. So I just hope that King of the Hill makes some good, timeless pieces of work, and that's it. That's it. That's all I care about. That's all I hope is they make some good, timeless piece of work, and I'm glad that they're headed in this direction. You know what I'm saying?
Change, it is undoubtedly the more hopeful and stronger creative decision. So, overall, assuming that Stephen Root isn't mistaken here, this is very encouraging news, in my opinion, of course. And I'm sure as the months roll on, we'll get more little tidbits of information about this revival. But don't expect to see anything substantial until quite a bit into next year. But what do you guys think? Is the aged up premise something you want to see, or would you prefer the show just went on business as usual? Let me know below in the comments, and of course, stay tuned for more. Peace.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I like that. Shout out to my boy Johnny, man. I like that, bro. I honestly think that at the end of the day, I'm very, very looking forward to it. Now we are doing the old King of the Hill episode, so you can check that down below if you haven't. We're all doing the old King of the Hill episodes reaction, so make sure you check that out. But at the end of the day, I just appreciate it. I can't wait to check out this new King of the Hill. And also what Raul said. Raul, like my boy Sucks Up Content brought a good point up. And this is a side note. He said, to be fair, at the time, Isaac Hayes, people were speaking for him because he had a stroke, and Matt and Trey didn't find that out too much later. And then Raul has said, which is a good, I agree with both. Raul has said something that I really agree with. He said, yeah, it didn't have to be with children, though. Pissed off or not, it's just plain statistics. So, what I agree with Raul, though. All right, hey, Raul, have a good night, my boy. Have a good night, Raul. I actually really agree with Raul. It's just about how you do it. Because if you look at Chef's character, has always been freaky as hell, fucking everything and having sex with everything and yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Women, of course. But how they chose to have him go out is kind of fucked up. Now, I can understand if they wanted to have him go out the Scientology way, because it's like they try to, you know, change your mind about this, and that was their opinion on it. That's fine. All right, they want to kill him off, literally kill him off in that is fine. It is what it is. But how he was portrayed, I would have thought, and me personally, I would have thought it would have been more tasteful to make a funny episode where Chef died some way in having sex. You know what I mean? Because I felt like that was his character. Like, Chef has been like the advice of those kids. Chef has been the light in the dark for most situations. Chef was all throughout season 1. Chef was with them from the beginning, from the first episode. Do you get what I'm saying? So to kill him off, to write him off being a child molester that was being controlled by Scientology, and to, you know, have him fall in a canyon and be ripped apart. Like, bro, that was just, I don't know, that was just a bullshit way. That was bullshit to me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I would never say a lot of y'all. That was some bullshit to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. Like I said, I'm not mad at South Park. That's a hell of a thing to be mad about. But I'm just saying that was bullshit. That was bullshit. That was some bullshit. I felt like what it really was is they were mad. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they probably felt like Chef betrayed them. You know, whether he was talking for him or somebody was talking for him, whatever, bro. It don't matter. I felt like they felt betrayed, and they all sat in a room, they got it together, and then they made the decision to kill him off in the worst way that was totally against his character. Chef has always been a strong-minded, strong-willed, very horny man. You know what I'm saying? And to kill him off with him being weird and sexual to the kids, and he's being controlled, and you know what I'm saying, that was just totally against his character. And then they just killed him off. So, you know, I just was like, it was just very distasteful. I felt like they could have made it funny. They could have killed him off in a funny way. You know what I'm saying? Just Chef died from humping, fucking, you know what I'm saying? And just so many different things you could have did.